Scene 1, The House of Silence. Mr. Henry Caldwell was one of the wealthiest men in the city, owner of Caldwell Enterprises, a powerful tech company that built machines smarter than people. But his home was not filled with the sound of laughter or joy, it was filled with silence. His son, Ethan, had been born deaf. Ever since his wife passed away 2 years ago, Ethan had barely smiled. He didn't play with the toys Henry bought him. He didn't like tutors. He didn't look anyone in the eye. All he did was cry quietly when no one was looking. And the father, who could buy anything in the world, couldn't buy peace for his son. Henry hired the best doctors, the most expensive therapists. But Ethan refused to connect. Until the day she walked in. Scene 2, The Little Girl at the Gate. It was a warm afternoon when a group of children came to the Caldwell mansion to deliver thank you cards. The Millionaire had donated computers to their local orphanage. Among them was a thin, quiet girl with bright brown eyes and messy hair, Lila. She held a hand-drawn card, colorful and imperfect, that read, "Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. You gave us light." The guards told the children to leave the gifts on the table and go. But Lila noticed something through the glass doors, a little boy sitting near the window, crying. She stopped walking. Lila, softly. "Hey, is he okay?" Guard. "No talking to the boy, kid. Mr. Caldwell doesn't like anyone disturbing him." But Lila didn't move. She just watched. The boy looked at her, their eyes met, and for a brief second, time froze. Ethan blinked, confused. Someone was looking back at him, not with pity, not with fear, but with understanding. Scene 3, The Encounter. That night, Lila couldn't stop thinking about the boy. The way his eyes begged for something, not toys, not money, but connection. The next day, she sneaked out of the orphanage and returned to the Caldwell mansion. She had no plan. Only a feeling. When she reached the gates, the guards refused her entry again, but fate had other plans. Henry Caldwell himself was arriving just then in his black car. He stepped out, sharp suit, phone in hand, all business. But when he saw the little girl waiting there, holding a handmade card and a small teddy bear, something about her innocence made him pause. "Henry. What are you doing here, little one?" Lila, nervously. I saw your son crying yesterday. I just wanted to give him this." Henry frowned. No one mentioned his son's condition in front of him. But there was something in her eyes, honest and kind, that reminded him of his late wife. He sighed. "Henry. Fine. 5 minutes. But don't upset him." He let her in. Scene 4, The Language of Silence. Ethan sat on the couch, staring out the window. Lila slowly walked in and sat across from him. She smiled. He didn't react. She waved her hand. He looked away. She took out her teddy bear and made it wave at him. Still nothing. Then she remembered something. At the orphanage, one of her caretakers was deaf. She had taught Lila a few signs: hello, friend, happy, sad. So she tried it. She signed, hello. Ethan froze. His head turned. His eyes widened. He blinked twice, then signed back, slowly, hesitantly, hi. That one small gesture broke the wall that years of therapy couldn't. Lila smiled so brightly it lit the whole room. Lila, signing. Are you okay? Ethan shook his head. Tears welled up. Ethan, signing. Mom, gone. Dad, busy. Me, alone. Lila's hands trembled. She bit her lip, trying not to cry. Then she signed, you're not alone anymore. For the first time in years, Ethan smiled. Scene 5, The Shock. From the hallway, Henry stood frozen. He had come to check if the girl was bothering his son, but what he saw made him drop his phone. His boy, the same boy who wouldn't look at anyone, was laughing. Actually laughing. Ethan touched Lila's hair, curious, and she giggled silently. They started signing quickly, hands flying, faces expressive. Henry stepped in, emotional but confused. Henry. How are you talking to him? Lila. Sign language, sir. It's how he speaks. Henry's eyes filled with guilt. He realized that in all his efforts to fix his son, he had never tried to understand him. Scene 6, A New Beginning. From that day on, Henry hired Lila as Ethan's companion, not as a nanny, not as a teacher, but as a friend. Every morning, she came from the orphanage, carrying little drawings and stories. Ethan began to change. He started waking up early, waiting at the gate for her. He began to paint, to play, to laugh. He even taught his father how to sign. Ethan, signing. Dad. I love you. Henry's hands trembled as he signed back, awkwardly but sincerely. I love you too, son. That night, Henry wept for the first time in years. Not from pain, but from joy. Scene 7, The Hidden Pain. But as the days went on, Lila's smile began to fade. She started coming later each day. Sometimes, she didn't show up at all. Ethan would wait at the gate, clutching the teddy bear she'd given him. When she didn't come, he sat on the steps, tears falling silently. Henry grew worried. One evening, he drove to the orphanage to check on her. What he saw shattered him. Lila was sick, pale, coughing, wrapped in a thin blanket on a small bed. The caretakers said she'd been skipping meals to save food for the younger kids. She'd been too weak to walk to the mansion. Henry, softly. Why didn't anyone tell me? Caretaker. She didn't want to bother you, sir. She said, she didn't want Ethan to see her like this. Henry knelt beside her bed. Henry. You've done more for my son than anyone ever has. You don't deserve to live like this. From now on, you're family. Tears filled Lila's eyes as she whispered weakly. Lila. Family. He nodded. That night, he carried her to his car, wrapped her in a warm blanket, and took her home. Scene 8, The Gift of Hope. When Ethan saw her again, his face lit up. He ran to her, hugged her tightly, and signed. I was scared you left me. Lila smiled, holding him close. Never. I promised you, you're not alone anymore. From then on, the mansion was no longer silent. Laughter filled the halls. Ethan began to talk, not with words, but with his hands and his heart. And Henry, the man who once drowned in his wealth, learned that true riches were not in what he owned, but in what he gave. Narrator, V.O. Once, this mansion was quiet as a tomb. Now, every wall whispered love. But fate had one more test left for them all. Scene 1, Lila's light returns. Weeks passed. Lila recovered quickly in the warmth of her new home. Henry made sure she had everything, medicine, meals, books, even a piano in her room. But she never lost her humble smile. She kept helping around the house, reading stories to Ethan, teaching him new signs, and making everyone laugh with her bright imagination. One afternoon, Ethan tugged her hand and brought her to the garden. He pointed at the sky, the clouds shaped like animals. They both laughed silently. Ethan, signing. Cloud looks like a rabbit. Lila, signing back. No. A dragon. Their laughter could be felt, even if not heard. Henry watched from the balcony, eyes glistening. For the first time in years, he didn't feel alone. For the first time, he felt like a father. Scene 2, The Father Learns to Speak. Henry began taking lessons from Lila too. Every evening, she'd sit with him and Ethan in the study, teaching them the alphabet in sign language. At first, Henry struggled. His movements were stiff, awkward. But Ethan was patient, guiding his father's hands gently. Ethan, signing. You're learning, Dad. Henry, signing clumsily. Because I want to talk to you. Lila smiled, watching them. She had reunited something that no amount of money ever could, a father and his son. Later that night, Henry looked through old photos of his late wife. He whispered softly. Henry. I couldn't hear his silence, Emma. But she did, she heard what I couldn't. Scene 3, the school that rejected him. But peace never lasts without challenge. One day, Henry decided to enroll Ethan in a private academy. It was the best in the city, full of elite families. He wanted his son to experience the world, not be locked away by his condition. When they arrived at the school, Ethan smiled, holding Lila's hand. But as soon as they entered the classroom, whispers began. Boy number 1. Why's he moving his hands like that? Girl number 1. He can't talk. Weird. The teacher, instead of helping, sighed impatiently. Teacher. Mr. Caldwell, maybe your son would be more comfortable in a special institution. Scene 4, the School of Hands and Hearts. A few weeks later, Henry called a press conference. Reporters filled the room.